Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like the person staring back at you wasn't you? Not because of how you look, but because something in your gut, something deep inside, is screaming that you've been living someone else's story. That feeling, like you're showing up every day, doing what's expected, hitting the marks, checking the boxes, but still feeling hollow inside? You smile in pictures, you say the right things, you work hard, maybe even harder than most, but still, you lie in bed some nights wondering, why doesn't it feel right? Let me tell you something raw and real. You are not crazy. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not behind. You're just disconnected from who you really are. And if you feel that, if you feel like something inside of you is locked up, buried under years of noise, pressure, and pretending, then I've got news for you. That means your true self is still alive. It's still in there. And it's fighting to come out. But it's been silenced. Silenced by years of doing what you should do. By trying to make your parents proud. By trying to impress people who don't even know the real you. By chasing degrees, promotions, likes, validation. All while ignoring the one person you can't afford to lose. Yourself. And let me be real with you. It doesn't matter how much success you build on top of someone else's blueprint. If it's not your foundation, it will eventually crumble. That emptiness you feel, that low-level anxiety that never quite goes away, that constant overthinking, it's your soul whispering, "This isn't me." And you can only ignore that whisper for so long, before it becomes a scream. Because your true self, the real you, is not meant to live in hiding. And finding that version of you isn't about adding more. It's about peeling back everything that was never yours to begin with. The expectations, the fear, the guilt, the need to prove yourself. You didn't come into this world afraid to be seen. That was taught. You didn't come into this world doubting your worth. That was inherited. You didn't come into this world needing approval to feel enough. That was programmed. So if you want to find your true self, you've got to be willing to question everything. Not with judgment, but with honesty. Because the truth is, most people don't live their life. They live a life someone else told them to live. And they call that normal. Let me tell you something. Normal is killing people. Not physically, but emotionally, spiritually. It's killing dreams, passion, creativity, purpose. And it's doing it slowly, quietly, while we call it success. But you're not here for that. You're not here to blend in. You're here to wake up. To remember who you were before the world told you who to be. To come back home to yourself. And that journey starts with permission. You have to give yourself permission to stop pretending. To stop showing up like everything's fine when your heart is screaming. To stop shrinking so others feel comfortable. To stop betraying your truth just to keep the peace. Because every time you say yes to something that isn't aligned with who you are, you say no to yourself. And that adds up. Over time, it becomes a weight. You carry it in your chest, your shoulders, your sleep, your smile. You carry it in the moments when you laugh, but it doesn't feel real. When you succeed, but it doesn't feel right. That's the cost of losing yourself. But here's the good news. You can take yourself back. Right now. Right here. And no, it's not about some overnight transformation. It's not about quitting your job or burning everything to the ground. It's about getting real. It's about sitting with yourself and asking the questions no one else can answer. What do I want, really? What makes me come alive? What parts of my life feel like a lie? What am I doing just to survive? And what would I do if I actually gave myself permission to live? You've got to get still enough to listen. You've got to get quiet enough to hear the voice under the noise. And when you do, when you really start to listen, you'll hear the truth. You'll hear the part of you that never left. The part of you that's bold, emotional, unfiltered. The part that doesn't need to be perfect. The part that remembers what it's like to just be, without the pressure, the fear, the performance. And once you hear that voice, it's time to follow it. Even if it doesn't make sense to others. Even if it's scary. Even if it means starting over. Because living out of alignment might feel safe, but it will never feel satisfying. You weren't born to be a copy. You weren't born to play a role. You were born to bring something into this world that only you can bring. And the moment you stop outsourcing your worth to what others think, the moment you stop waiting for permission, the moment you decide that your truth matters more than your image, that's when everything changes. That's when your energy shifts. That's when your relationships change. That's when your confidence grows, not because you've mastered everything, but because you finally feel free. And freedom is what your true self was always after. Freedom to express, to create, to feel, to love, to evolve. And no one can give you that, except you. So if you've been living on autopilot, if you've been feeling numb, if you've been chasing a life that looks good but doesn't feel good, stop, breathe, and remember this: you're not too late. You're not too broken. You're not too lost. You're just one decision away from coming home to yourself. And that decision is this: you choose you. Not the version of you that pleases everyone else. Not the version that checks every box but feels empty. You choose the messy, wild, honest, powerful, creative version of you that's been buried under years of should. You choose the part of you that's tired of hiding. You choose the part that wants more. Not more things, but more life. That's the true you. And once you make that choice, once you stop running, stop numbing, stop pretending, that's when your life begins to align. That's when you'll start building something real. Not a performance. Not a highlight reel. Not a shell. But a life that's yours. Fully. Authentically. Unapologetically. And the best part? You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start walking toward your truth, one brave step at a time. You'll lose some things. You'll outgrow some people. You'll shed some identities. But what you gain is everything. You gain clarity. You gain peace. You gain a connection to yourself so strong, no one can shake it. And when you live from that place, life hits different. You don't chase approval anymore. You don't shrink anymore. You don't settle anymore. Because now, you remember who you are. And once you do, there's no going back. So ask yourself right now, are you ready to stop performing? Are you ready to stop living someone else's life? Are you ready to stop abandoning yourself just to be accepted? Because if the answer is yes, then this is your moment. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Start small. Start messy. But start real. And don't look back. Because the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more real ones. More of you. The one who knows their worth. The one who lives their truth. The one who doesn't need to be understood. To be free. So take a breath. Drop the mask. Look in the mirror. And this time, see yourself. Not the version you were told to be. The one you were born to be. The one who's been waiting for you to come home.